they would find out your information. They would want to have all of your personal life. They want to know what makes you scared, what makes you tick, what's been your trauma in your life, and they will use it because they did that same thing with one of the girls whose mum passed away with gun violence, and they made her be the one that's shot in the head in one of the challenges. So my weekend was literally just in bed. What was your
Yeah.
weekend like?
I feel like I've had a very nothing weekend as well. Saturday, because I was on the phone with you, I was panicking about the wasted day. Time was really confronting, and I was like, oh my God, I only have so many days. Life is short, and I've spent the whole day doing nothing. And it was actually, I did actually do stuff like I cleaned, did laundry, did a bit of a shop, a food shop. I watched America's Next Top Model documentary, which we need to talk about that. Spoke on the phone, like caught up with friends. It was, there was a lot going on, but it's just because I had a different expectation of the day where I was going to be out and I was meant to go and see a couple of my friends, but we were meeting outside of London and the trains weren't running and it would have been like having to get the rail replacement bus and changing twice. So we were
God.
like, okay, let's reschedule. So I think because of that, because I didn't have the plan to have a nothing weekend, it felt like, oh fuck. And also, in the evening, Alex came around and we started watching Love is Blind, which is just,
Oh,
yeah, there's a new one, a new season out. Yeah, so
good.
far, I feel like the Love is Blind format does get a bit tired and gets old quite quickly.
Hmm.
In a way that I don't think Married at First Sight does. Married at First Sight, there still feels like there's a lot of like unpredictability that can happen there. But this one is more interesting than the previous season, which literally felt like I was in prison every time I had to watch an episode. So far, this one isn't the worst thing that I've watched.
It's the American one, right?
Love is Blind,
Love is
there's American and British ones, but the Love
okay.
is Blind. This one's set in Ohio, I think. Yeah, so it's American.
Mm. Yeah, because they fall in love.
Yeah.
Are they in love already?
And there's just a fakeness there that I don't know. There is, yeah, they are in love. There's one couple that's already, I think we're only on episode like two or one even. Episode one or two, and there's definitely a couple that's engaged. Yeah.
It just doesn't. I
And they've
don't
said I
get
love
it.
you and that they're in love and it's these I'm not gonna lie, these two are looking kind of cute, but let's see. I'm interested to see what their challenges are when they live together and when all the couples meet. That's my favorite part every time of the season is
Yeah.
when all the couples meet and then the ones who were really getting to know each other and liked each other and maybe they were their number twos or they were their number ones and lost out and then they ended up being more of their type and just the drama that happens when they're all in a group. But yeah, so that's my weekend and I don't feel like I made the most of it, which feels shit. And that's the problem with these, like when you have a full-time job that's 5 days a week and you only have the weekend, it feels like the weekend I need to make it worth my time. Like I need to make the most of this time, and that's so shit.
It is, and that's why I try to do stuff after work or try
Hmm.
and have activities on or different things that I can look forward to. But you're
Hmm.
just exhausted.
Hmm.
I said
Yeah.
exhausted with.
You're just exhausted. Yeah, it is exhausting and it's kind of shit. And also, do you know what it is as well? That this weekend it was quite sunny and the rain hadn't started until like later in the day.
Yes,
So it's just like those prime hours of like dry sun and it's quite nice out. What are you doing in your bed? What are you doing?
but I'm looking at it, and we do have some brighter days coming. Like
Yeah.
Wednesday's saying full sun, 17 degrees.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Are we
Oh
in?
my
Are we here?
God.
Is it spring?
I don't
Is it
know.
spring? Are we here? Has it sprung?
I can't believe this. I actually can't believe this. So, oh my God, Wednesday, that's the day this episode goes out. I hope
Guys, get out in the sun. Get your vitamin D.
take your AirPods in, take us with you, and just frolic
Seriously.
because the sun is out and we don't know when it's going back. But that's what pisses me off. Okay, Wednesday, fine, sun's out, 17 degrees, that's so lovely. If on the weekend I see a single drop of rain,
Let's
but
not
that's
go
always what
back.
happens.
Let's not go back.
Fast
Let's just
forward.
look forward, please. Let's just move forward in this way. 17 degrees. Keep on improving. Keep on building on that. 17, 17.5, 18, 18.5. Let's get to the 20s. Let's actually have a spring that's nice for once.
Please. What's your favorite temperature in London? Because obviously it's different on holiday.
Hmm. In London, my optimal weather is it's sunny,
Okay.
but not the kind of sun where there's not a lick of breeze and you're just it's hanging in the balance. I need a light, warm breeze, a
Okay.
warm breeze. And I'm looking at 20, anything between 25 and 27. That's optimal. No, 24 and 27. And I don't
Wow,
mind, and I
okay.
want when I say a warm breeze, it needs to feel fresh. It
Mm-hmm.
can't be a warm, hot, sticky breeze. It needs to be a fresh, not a cold breeze, but refreshing.
Mm,
Yeah. I don't like it when it gets above 30 because at that point it's humid. It's you can smell like just
sticky.
the yeah, and I feel like when it's really sunny in the city, the smell of the cars and stuff really nauseates me more than it does when it's not so sunny without any kind of wind. But yeah, that's my favorite. I'd say once it gets to 23 degrees, I'm excited. I'm
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
excited. We're getting there. Life is lovely. 27 is my favorite summer's day, I think. 27. What about you?
I would say 25 to 28 is perfect for me. 26 is chef's kiss. I want the sun to be out
Hmm.
and I want to be able to choose, like, sit underneath a tree or something
Mm.
where I'm in the shade, but I can, like, put my legs out or, like,
Mm.
move around from sitting in the sun to sitting underneath a tree,
I love
but
it so
still having
much.
that
Yes, I love it so much in spring when you walk under the sun and it's just the most amazing warmth for that period. And then you continue walking and then it's like nice and breezy. And then you walk and it's sunny. And then I love that. Just the perfect, the best of both worlds.
balance in both.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Oh my God.
We're staring down the barrel of spring. It's coming. It's coming.
I can't wait.
Better days
Oh
are
my God.
ahead.
I think I want to throw a party. I think I talked about this already. I want to throw a
For your
party in
six
June.
month, for your half birthday.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I've been so much more inspired by it because there's this girl who's in my netball team, both of my netball teams actually, and she turned 30 in October last year,
Hmm.
and I swear she's been celebrating it for months and months on end. Like
Hmm.
last week, we had a match on Thursday, and we were like, "Oh, what's everyone doing?" Oh no, we were like, "I'll see you next week," and she was like, "Oh, I'm away. She's going to Portugal or something for her 30th and her mum's 60th." And I was just
Oh,
like,
that's lovely.
"Yeah, why not?" Like, yeah, it is really cute. I
They
was like,
both, they
"Why
both,
not?"
they
These,
both have their milestone birthdays the same, around the same time.
which is
Yeah, and
so
30 is not a joke. Like that is the longest and most I've celebrated my birthday as well. Like it was early June when I stopped celebrating. Like we are definitely into June. And that turning 30 last year and having that whole birthday month thing. Now that's how I'm always going to do it. May is my birthday month. May is such a good month. Let me just quickly say the two bank holidays that we get to
yeah,
start the month and end the month,
yeah.
it makes it glorious. Last year, I think I was at work for like a total of 5 days for the whole month because I took the week off for my birthday. I went away in the week leading up to my birthday, and then we had the two bank holidays, and I genuinely was not at work for much of May at all. I think I had one full week, and then the rest would be like a 2 day week here, a 3 day week there. It was so good. But yeah, I'm so ready. Every time this, and also I love, love, love when speaking of favorite days in London, I love when the sun is out and it's like 10, 9, 10 p.m. Give it
Yeah,
to me. I love that shit.
everyone's so much happier as well.
Honestly,
It's
it
just
makes you think
perfect.
what kind of country would we be if we had a completely different climate?
Yeah. It's so upsetting, but okay, whatever.
Do we think reform would have gotten the traction that it's gotten? I don't believe so.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Everyone would feel just lighter and a bit more
Hmm.
relaxed, and we'd actually be like an island country. You know those
Precisely.
islands that you go to where everyone's kind of slowed down and
Hmm.
chilled out and happy. Like the people are actually so happy.
Hmm.
That's what it would be like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if British culture lends itself to that, but I don't know how much of British culture is the way it is because of the terrible weather. We'll never know unless climate
Mm.
change really does its thing.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Do the needful.
One
No.
can only hope.
Okay, so signal check. What is your signal bars at the moment? Are you one, are you no signal flatlined where you don't have any energy or any shred of joy? Are you one where you're fighting your way through? Are you two just middling along? Two, three just middling along? Or are you four? Are you having the best time of your life?
Unfortunately, I'm not full bars. We've not yet had a full bar
Well,
week.
counting on you to be full bars. I'm not full bars.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say, hold on, wait me.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Um, no, I'm mid. I'm two. It's not even a bad thing. I don't feel sad. I just feel a bit like the like
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't really feel anything like
that's
anything
not
good or
the
anything bad. It's just kind of here.
mm,
Yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna say two, two and a bit, two and a bit approaching three. And the three, I do foresee a 3 bar week next week at least because the sun is gonna do a lot. And I think just getting out and being outside and
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna help a lot.
In fact, I think I'm gonna shave my legs next week. That
Wow.
is a bit, yeah, for me, because all winter I have my legs hairy, except for my birthday because we were doing netball. But when I shave my legs, that's such a transition of like, oh, we're now in spring.
That is so
But I
funny.
think I think it'll be a good kind of thing to do to just get me in that spring mindset
Hmm.
because that's what's kind of holding me back a bit of just still feeling a bit like I'm hibernating, like it's still like that winter like lull.
So it's
Um,
symbolic.
yeah, shedding,
Yeah,
shedding the
shedding old
hair.
skin. Hopefully that means that we get some 20 degrees days next week once you shave your legs.
Yeah, you're
Do it for
welcome.
all of us. Yeah.
So, America's Next Top Model,
Oh yeah.
Tyra,
Yeah.
villain or
Tyrant. She's a freaking tyrant. What were you gonna say? Villain or what? Villain or
villain
victim?
or villain or victim? Yeah. She is, I don't even know if we're going to keep this one in, but the way she was in that documentary, there was something about her eyes. Like if I just snipped out her eyes, it was giving me Erica Kirk vibes.
There is a very disingenuous vibe from her, especially throughout that kind of documentary. And because it's the type of documentary it is, you know, there's going to be a defensiveness there. And she was obviously trying to really portray herself in a certain way. But I agree, she didn't, in her eyes, there wasn't anything real. There wasn't anything real. It felt very, very postury. Actually, let's just take it back a bit and give some context in case people don't know about America's Next Top Model and the documentary that's come out. So, in the 2000s, there was a reality TV show called America's Next Top Model. If you don't know about it, then that's crazy. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about it. Where they would put a load of women in the same house and they were competing to be America's Next Top Model. And each week they would do different challenges, and then someone would be eliminated by the end of the episode. And eventually they did different spin-offs or different country versions. We had Britain's Next Top Model, which was really good as well. I watched all of these. A lot of us grew up watching them. And recently people have gone back and rewatched this show and noticed that it's problematic as hell. You can imagine like when we're dealing with the modeling industry this time of year or this era of like early 2000s, the kind of challenges that these women were put through and the dynamics that were happening, the exploitation through TV, people have really, really found it quite shocking watching it from a 2026 perspective, seeing our current standards and our current values. It doesn't really seem like something that could run in this day and age. So there's a documentary that Netflix put out recently, 3 episodes, and it's kind of like looking back at the show, and a lot of the key players are interviewed and give their point of view. So previous winners, previous contestants, Tyra Banks, who is the co-creator and also the main host of the show, Mr. J Alexander, the two like judges on the show, also spoke, and Mr. what's his name, Nigel, the
Nigel Barker.
yeah, Nigel Barker, the photographer, also spoke. It's a really interesting deep dive, but it also, I feel, stops short at a lot of. I don't feel that they interrogated the hosts as much, and even the producer was on there. I don't think the head producer, they didn't interrogate them as much as I think they could
No.
have if it was like actually going to be a journalistic investigation. It was more like they asked them their question, they accepted whatever answer. They didn't question anything or push them to look deeper at what their part was and where they failed, or called them out where they were making it an excuse or downplaying their involvement. Yeah, some of the situations that happened were really quite horrific. So we can go into detail with each of the stories, but the responses to that were very downplayed when it came to, now we're asking Tyra about this specific scenario, or we're asking even the Jays about it. They're very much, that wasn't anything to do with me.
Yeah, they really downplayed their role in things because the executive producer, Ken Mock, that was his name. He was so high up in all of it. He was like, yeah, he's a producer.
Hmm.
Tyra, also an executive producer, but she's saying stuff like she wasn't involved in production when you literally see that as her title on
Hmm.
the show. Like, you were the creator, you were the executive producer, you were on the judging panel, you were the host. Like, yeah, you were, everyone's got a boss, and she was under people, she was under the network, etc. But she did, I think she was downplaying her power a lot. But I also think the other judges were too.
Hmm.
Jay Manuel also downplaying things and pushing a lot onto Tyra. My summary of some of it, and we'll go into it in detail as you said, was that it felt like the judges, all of them, Nigel, Miss J, Mr. J, Tyra, and even Ken, were all like loving it. They were creating a show, they were enjoying their time. And then the second and they did, and it was them against the contestants kind of thing. Like, they didn't mind doing all those things to the contestants because it was making good TV and it was progressing the show. But the second that it turned and it didn't feel like they were all united, that's when it started being an issue. That's what
Mm.
it felt like.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting dynamics at play there where with success comes more expectation for more success, and then you keep driving, and it starts to break down the relationships that were based on more than that. So like Tyra and Jay Alexander, yeah, they had a different kind of relationship. They actually seemed to be friends, but then the way that the show went just eroded that friendship. And you can see from the way that there are certain people that when you place value on the success of a TV show over your real life friendships and your real life relationships and people, how could, if you stop seeing like the friend that you started this thing with, and if you don't even value that relationship and you don't even value them as a person, how is that going to reflect how you see the contestants on the show? There's a way
That
that it
part,
stops seeing, you stop like humanizing your co-judges, your friends, the people on your team. If you can't humanize them and understand how things are impacting them and see them as real people above the success for your show, then how can you not see? Then it follows that you'll also see the contestants on your show as just simple characters or pawns that you can use to further the success. Also, what I found really, really frustrating is, yeah, there was no accountability throughout the documentary. No one was pushing for that. But also, it felt like everything ended up coming back to us, the viewers.
yes. Oh my.
And it's literally off the back of one episode of Love Island last week where Jessie is talking about, what did she call us? Gullible bitches.
Gullible bitches.
So Jessie's been eliminated, been voted out, and she's lashing out at the public, calling us gullible, thinking that the reason we voted her out is because we believe Lucinda over her, when actually it's because we know Lucinda's as fake as fuck, but we also just don't fucking like Jessie. So this whole thing where the viewers always getting the blame,
Now we're the villains.
now
Now
we're the
we're the
villains
villains.
because
Like,
apparently we're telling you that we want you to exploit the people on your shows so that we can have that entertainment value. I feel like it's really, really, you can only blame the Times so much. You can only blame the viewers so much. You have such a part to play. We all create the zeitgeist, we all create the culture that creates the times. So you can't say these are the times when actually the times were built on America's Next Top Model. The times came from America's Next Top Model. Reality TV
exactly.
then changed because of America's Next Top Model. You created a lot of that. She wants to say that we wanted to see the high drama, we wanted to see people push their limits and see the behind the scenes and the dynamics between the girls. We needed the drama when actually she was basing her a lot of the inspiration for America's Next Top Model came from shows like what's that?
Survivor,
Survivor. What was that? Singing one, not X Factor.
American Idol.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It came from these kind of shows where you go onto the show, you showcase your talent, and if you win, you end up with a career. That was the whole thing that appealed to her the most, platforming people who aren't typically successful within the modeling industry, who aren't typically seen as the most beautiful or the most desirable, and then giving them that career at the end of it. What
Platform.
happens after these shows? That
Exactly.
was the premise of the show. That was what she said was the inspiration. So we weren't seeing American Idol wasn't about the individuals or the interactions between the two. It wasn't about the behind the scenes. It wasn't about the whether they were eating or they weren't eating or whether they were what they were doing with their partners. It wasn't about that. Reality
We didn't
TV
even get
became
that
about that
much.
after America's Next Top Model.
Exactly. We didn't even get that much insight into these people's lives except for the sentences that would they would say in terms of, oh yeah,
Exactly.
I live alone or I don't live my grandma, I
My
was raised by my
grandma's
grandma, she
exactly.
passed away. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the worst part of what Tyra where Tyra is getting a lot of pushback is because of the fact that she says that she came in with such pure intentions in terms of changing the way we see modeling, changing the way we see models and the industry because of how much she struggled in that industry as a black woman in America.
Yeah.
Even though she was light skinned, even though she had light eyes, even though she's skinny and all of these stuff and that had those sort of things that we'd say are desirable now, in that time, yeah, we understand.
Mm.
So that's what was so much worse when you hear these stories from some of the contestants like Ebony and Danielle, where they start talking about their stories as black women. It's like, oh, but this goes completely against the premise of what you started in the first
Mm.
place, where you wanted to push against all of this stuff. You wanted to push against the times and the era and the industry when you actually just became an arm off of the industry
Hmm.
upholding everything that it stood for.
Yeah, and I'm going one step worse, not just denying them, but humiliating them. Like rather than the industry that just simply didn't even give them a look in and didn't give them a chance and said, no, this is not your lane. America's Next Top Model acted as if it was creating a space for them, when in reality it was just exploiting their desperation and
Mm.
putting them on the world stage for everyone to mock, knowing as well that they weren't ever going to get the opportunities at the end of the day because when a lot of these contestants finished, even the winners, they were getting
Yeah,
blacklisted. So it was purely
yeah,
just for the show. It wasn't a show, it wasn't a through line into the industry. It was no, this is the start and this is the beginning. This is the start and this is the end for you. But for us, we're just going to keep building and building and building and building on
yeah,
and
yeah,
we're gonna but yeah, so I think that in so Tyra or and even the exec producer blaming it being reality TV and it needing to be drama. No, you created that type of drama and that there are other the audience is gonna the audience watches what you feed them. if we never had seen some of these things, we would never have come back for more of that. Do you know what I mean? Like you created it first for us to want. We didn't say you didn't put out a poll saying, guys, what do you want next? Like, do you want to see them being different races? Do you want to see someone essentially cheating on their boyfriend in quote marks, but actually having been sexually assaulted?
Assaulted. Yeah.
Like, do you want to see these people being violated? Do you want to watch like that wasn't we didn't sign up for that. We didn't request that explicitly. You thought that that's the kind of thing that would get people watching, and then you kept creating more of that, which yes, people then do come to see. And also, we do need to talk about the times though, like that early 2000 time, because I was thinking about this, like this Netflix documentary series is called Reality Check, and it feels like I don't know if they have done any other ones before, but are they going to look at other reality TV
Mm,
series?
that'd be good.
And I was wondering which ones would be worthy of a deep dive aside from America's Next Top Model, but a reality TV series from that time. I feel like a lot of them, the ones that I was watching were like The Hills, A Simple Life. They were all kind of just like fun, or like Sweet 16, which in itself was just like a one-time episode. Yeah, America's Next Top Model was really, really, really unique and did spearhead a lot of what we've seen now. So I think it's a bit of a cop out to just say that was reality TV of the time. I don't think it was.
But even at the time as well, you do know, like even well, Jay Manuel now says, "Oh yeah, like I knew when you talk about the blackface stuff. I knew at the time I was uncomfortable at the time.
Hmm.
At the time, you guys know it's wrong. I know the times are, you know, skinny chic and this and that's what the society was saying at the time and the culture. But we still knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
So I also think that point is a bit like, I don't know.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a shame, all of the traumatic scenes that were happening where it was around like sexual harassment or assault. They were just when it would the documentary would interview the actual victims of those particular experiences, and we'd see like flashbacks as well, showing clips from the time, and then the camera would then go on to the judges, so the Jays, Nigel, Tyra, and they'd ask them about it, or what do you think about this? And it'd be very, especially Nigel, it'd be very like, what can we say, what can we do? It just is what it is, kind of thing. And that's just reality, that's just real life. Like you have to just be tough, you have to just expect these things. And it was like, no, one of these contestants is being sexually harassed by a model who's also on the shoot, on the set of the shoot to get the shot, and they've called it out. They have put their hands up and said, "Hey, can we stop this for a second? This person is feeling me up, moaning in my ear, like this is not professional." And now everyone's pissed off at her for stopping the shoot. And then that was at the time, but now you're looking back at it and you're being like, oh yeah, you've got to find a way to make it work.
Exactly. You're still saying the same thing that you said. Yeah. I think they thought that they redeemed themselves a lot more than they actually had because I think they were comparing themselves to Tyra too much, who was there being like, "Boo boo, I am so sorry."
Mm,
Like, yeah, that Nigel scene was ridiculous. They're more upset that they lost their their jobs. They thought that they had more to say about that bit
mm.
than Nigel being the one that was actually photographing and on set at that time. It was so sad as well because it wasn't just, I mean, that's obviously she's being sexually harassed while she's trying to take her pictures and everything. She's also the one that they were kind of saying is overweight, like talking about her
Yes.
guts hanging
Yeah.
out, and you look at her stomach and it's flat as anything.
That one clip that they just made it look
Crazy.
like she was eating like five bagels, but it was the same bagel, and they just kept cutting it to make it look like she
Yeah.
kept grabbing more bagels. But the kind of themes that this documentary was exposing were things like body image issues, eating disorders, sexual harassment and assault. What else? There was like
Sure, racial element
the
as well.
racial element. They outed someone on national television without even consulting her. Ebony,
Yes.
she wasn't even publicly out like that. And they just
Yes.
blasted
Yeah.
her personal business out for the whole world. A dark-skinned black lesbian fed her to the wolves, basically.
But that's what they would do, though. They would find out your information. They would want to have all of your personal life. They want to know what makes you scared, what makes you tick, what's been your trauma in your life, and they will use it because they did that same thing with one of the girls whose mum passed away with gun violence, and they made her be the one that's shot in the head in one of the challenges they did. They
Mm.
ran the narrative with Kenya around her being overweight, and then in challenges she was gluttony when they did
Mm.
the seven deadly sins. She was the elephant when they were doing jungle animals. Like they would literally just feed into a storyline for each person
And try to bait people
and try.
into creating that storyline or continuing that storyline. It's the same thing. And the story that Shandy shared and what she went through. By the way, when you were watching this documentary, could you remember all of these episodes and all of these scenes? Because the Shandy one was crazy to watch back in the context of knowing exactly what was actually happening behind the scenes. I remember what they presented and what happened was so different. Do you remember watching that episode?
Yeah,
We are just like, oh my
yeah.
God, these guys are so crazy. And I was like, oh, she's got this makeover now and she's feeling
Yes.
herself and she's in Milan with her new modeling life. This girl who was working at Trader
All green.
Walgreens, Walgreens and had glasses and was this skinny, nerdy looking girl who's now got the makeover and she's blonde and she's hot and she's now fitting in with conventionally attractive standards. And when actually she was blacked out, drunk out of her mind, and being taken advantage of in front of production, in front of the cast, and nobody thought to step in. In fact, they thought, keep the cameras rolling, let's go into the shower with them, let's go into the bedroom with them, and let's create the storyline of the girl who cheated, which is actually what they named the title of the episode, the girl who cheated,
Mhm.
because she had a boyfriend back home. And then let's also make her call her boyfriend on live on TV and record that, and let's hear his reaction to this heartbreak. And let's put in the episode that he called her a fucking bitch, which it was so horrible that such a low point of her life is recorded and was used as like publicity for the show. Just
Mhm.
that's so traumatizing.
And then afterwards, anytime she was invited onto Tyra Banks's show where they played it again and talked about it. Tyra even said on her show, clips are coming out on TikTok and online about it now, of her being like, I watched that so many times, and obviously I was in the editing room and all of that. But then on the show, she was
Mm.
talking about she can't really talk about production. It's just, yeah,
The
it was
distancing was
horrible.
crazy. And what I was watching was a lot of it did feel like gaslighting. Like we can see that none of this sounds or looks genuine. You're not doing what you think you're doing. And it's like you're trying to make us believe something that simply isn't true. And then the level of cognitive dissonance as well. There's always some other figure that they create to put the blame onto. In Tyra's mind, she actually didn't have any say, and she actually didn't have any power. That's what she wants us to believe. Meanwhile, you were in the editing room. You were a producer. This was your show. You were the face of this. This was your whole thing. And you can make it seem like, oh, we don't know about the networks and we don't know about what happens behind the scenes. And that's just our own ignorance. Who has to be the one to, to say this is too much? If we're leaving it up to the people who just want to make the most money, you included, then who is supposed to be that person? Who is
Mhm.
supposed to be that person? Hearing the stories from Shandy, the story from Ebony, Tiffany didn't actually speak on the documentary, but they did insert clips from where she's previously been interviewed or previously spoken on the incident. And Tiffany's story is the one where I think probably the most famous moment on the show, or at least the most clipped and circulated in recent times, is the one where Tyra's got that gorgeous blowout and her red hair is just like sitting so nicely and she's going off at this contestant Tiffany. Meanwhile, she's just eliminated her. At the time, I remember watching it and being like, what is all this about? Tiffany, she was upset
Yeah.
because Tiffany wasn't crying her eyes out after being eliminated. Instead, she was just
Yeah.
going to all the girls and trying to be chipper about it. And Tyra ended up calling her back. And that's where she did the whole, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Never in my life have I yelled at a girl like this. And then that stupid line about, when my mother yells at me, it means she loves me. What,
Mhm.
girl? What? And then Tyra was trying to justify that moment by giving us the background of how production were helping her and trying to help her get her life together so that she can have this second chance at the show, knowing damn well that what does the show actually do for people? She openly
Exactly.
admitted to that. Was it Kenya? No, it wasn't Kenya. You mentioned her name,
Danielle.
Danielle. Yeah, she openly admitted to Danielle that she knew that doors were closed to America's Next Top Model contestants after the show. So what were you actually wanting from Tiffany? You wanted to create a storyline with her. You wanted to use her trauma and create a storyline. That's why you invested so much into helping her come back on the show again. It's all about what you stand to gain. And Tiffany was even
Exactly.
saying that. She's like, I don't think that Tyra cared about me. Like she tried to present. I don't think you scream and shout and humiliate someone like that if you do care about them. Also, the next week of filming, there being lawyers present after that
Yeah,
moment.
because there was so much that was cut out that we didn't hear
Hmm.
that even all of the judges were quaking.
Hmm.
So Lord knows what the heck she was saying. Lawyers stepping in to protect anyone but the contestants.
Right, exactly, exactly. Have you seen that Tyra's alter ego? Have you
The
seen this?
blonde one?
Her drag act.
No.
Oh my God.
I
Honestly, I
know she
saw
dresses
it.
a lot up a lot. I didn't know she had a drag act.
She did this weird performance at a drag club last year, and she looks so scary. Like she, when you're talking about her eyes, she looks so scary. She's got like this. It wasn't a blonde wig; it was pure yellow. She's got this yellow wig on, and she looks like she's lost the plot. Going around doing like the name of her act was like Tyra Banks, I think, or Shirley, yeah, and it was just she looked rambling, she looked like she'd lost it genuinely. So I thought that she had when I saw that. I think it was supposed to be entertaining. It made me a little bit scared. I don't know what everyone I've mentioned it to, no one's seen this clip, but I feel like I'm making it up, but I'm gonna find it and maybe post it on our story so that everyone can see. It's erratic, it's odd, it doesn't feel like alter ego, it feels like she's breaking.
Was it after ANTM got cut? Or she got cut from it?
This was last year. How
Oh
recently did
God.
this happen? How recently was
Oh,
her
ages
getting?
ago.
Yeah. No, she looks crazy. She was saying all sorts. She looked like she was on drugs. I don't know that she was, but that's what it was giving.
Shit, I need to see this.
But she just says that it's just for entertainment, like it's just yeah, for TV. Which is just goes to show how much she'll do for TV. And it's crazy as well, like maybe when you've been in that world for so long, you stop seeing it as meaningful. You just start seeing it, oh, it's just for TV, it's not real life, when actually it is real people and it is real life. But also, something about it being modeling specifically adds a whole nother layer of like the way that they were creating tension and drama was by doing things like not feeding them, they're not getting enough sleep. And this are tactics that production uses a lot in reality TV. They do it with like Big Brother, and to drum up that drama, they put people in high stress situations where food is limited, sleep is limited, so that you're not acting out of logic. You're acting the way that somebody who has very low blood sugar would act, and you're using that for the storylines as well. And then also, the point I was making about it being modeling specifically is that as a model, part of your job is apparently to just be the hanger that the clothes are worn on. You are told to how to move, how to be, how to present yourself for this particular designer. So, so much of it is just doing what you're told, or at least in the 2000s, it was that. I don't really know what modeling is like now, but so much of it is doing what you're told, being who you're told, being the weight that you're told, present yourself the way that you need to, cut your hair, widen your gap, close your gap. That whole
Jesus.
gap thing, oh my God. The fact that they they did a whole, made it a whole big thing about closing her gap, closing Danielle's gap. And then the next year they widened that other girl's gap permanently, mind you, as in
Actually
shaved off
crazy.
some of her teeth. That's what we're saying. That show was
Actually crazy.
wild.
The fact that she actually said it while she handed her, when she stands at the front and she's like, I've got 13 ladies in front of me and only 12 pictures.
Hmm.
And while she's handing Danielle her photo, she literally says, you're gonna fix your teeth?
Yeah.
And Danielle's like, yeah, because she knew she'd go home, but she
Hmm.
didn't. And then that other girl, what was that girl's name? Because she was actually on the documentary, the one that they messed up her teeth. She
Oh,
was
where they
happy
had,
about it
yeah, where they had to pull
at
out
first.
like where it went overnight and they pulled out like half of her teeth.
Yeah, when really all they needed to do was pull down the one that was up there and then bit of Invisalign,
They
fix her
didn't,
bite.
yeah, she said it didn't fix any of her orthodontic issues.
And that's where it goes into you don't see them as humans, you see them as a means to an end, but you also do see them, like you're saying, as just dolls that you can fix and change
Hmm.
so that they look quote unquote good on camera.
Hmm.
And these girls specifically picking out, okay, Tiffany was from Harlem, Danielle was from, what was it, Little Rock, wherever, but these small towns trying to make something of themselves. They're going to New York.
Yeah.
Now, later on in the series, they're going to Milan and they're going to London and they're traveling. It's just, yeah, it's just so the setup of it all, where it's like, I'm saving you
Yeah.
and you need this
Yeah. And
and
the
I am
dangling
the
of the
savior.
carrot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the positioning of Tyra being this person that's like, you're shouting at Tiffany because you love her and you're there with the girls, you're sitting with you love these girls, but in the background you're there in the editing suite and you're there
Yeah.
taking the worst pictures of them and doing all
It's
of
kind of
that.
like the dynamic between like a madam and the like and like a group of sex workers where it's like you're meant to believe that they're there to look after you and that they're your ticket out of whatever you're going through, and but actually what's happening is exploitation and they're gaining what they can from you, and they create this mother-daughter relationship that is completely false and actually just really fucked up. But I do wonder, what does Tyra do these days?
She's got that hot ice cream thing. She's
Oh
opened a hot ice cream
yes.
shop in Australia. I think she lives there.
Yes, she said that that's what she wants her legacy to be is the ice cream. She said, yeah, America's Next Top Model, great, modeling, great. Ice cream, though, that's what she wants to be known for and remembered for. That's what she wants her legacy to be. Warm
Okay.
ice cream or something.
Okay, because you've called it Smy's Dreams or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you want us to know about the modeling and top model. She's so. I'd love to know what the real her is like. I'd love to actually have a frank, honest conversation with her.
Yeah, I feel like with people that like that, at a certain point, there's no real them anymore. Like at a certain point, the industry, how you present and how now this is just you. And I feel like Tyra's gotten a little bit, is one of those people who's a little bit like that now. But
Yeah, she
it didn't give me anything I wanted, that documentary. Genuinely, it didn't illuminate anything. It didn't add any additional context that I didn't previously have. No one was putting their hands up to anything and saying that they should have done more or could have done more or this was wrong or as much as they're being like, yeah, we were shocked or yeah, that shouldn't have happened and that wouldn't happen today. uh, yeah, people were just only focusing on where they were the victims. Also, Miss J having that stroke was the saddest thing. And
so
for
sad.
Tyra to not have gone to see them is
She
crazy.
literally only, what was it, one test. no visit. Once, and Miss J was in a coma for 5 months, was in the hospital over a year, I think, including the 5 months, but it doesn't matter. A year plus in the hospital after something so, it was a massive stroke.
Yeah, still can't
And it
walk.
was, and Miss J was in New York. That's where they were staying. And I mean, not what crazy, because that was the thing that was sad, and that obviously that they were talking about a lot with the judges, is that they had a relationship way before the
Yeah.
show. They Miss J and Tyra, like Miss J teaching her how to walk, teaching models how to walk, just being this big personality. J Manuel being her makeup artist. I don't know where they got Nigel from, but there it is.
They plucked him out because they needed a hot straight white model and photographer.
Exactly. So it was just like you knew me before this,
Hmm.
and that was so so sad.
You know, like no matter what happened in your past, there are certain things that can happen to someone that you knew and loved and cared about. That means that you just put all of that aside and you go and see them. And things like this is one of those. If someone has a stroke, come on, like it's like Little Mix. Have you seen this? Like the Little Mix have all reached out to support Jessie.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
I know when she sat up there on live with Nicki Minaj, just bad mouthing Leanne. And I think Leanne was even pregnant at the time. Maybe I'm just adding decoration, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was she was vulnerable at the time. You sat there and encouraged hate towards a black woman who is your bandmate. And now, obviously, with everything that she's going through with her kids, they've all reached out to her to support her. They're all in her corner. And
Yeah.
Tyra wasn't even the wronged party when it comes to her and Miss J.
That's the part. But Tyra doesn't want to face up to it or
Mm-mm.
hear about it.
But
Because
she's all
even when they asked her on the
Mhm.
show, oh, what do you think of this? Yeah, Manuel, what do you think of that? She just would not answer. And
I'll
that's what
text them.
yeah, no, don't go there or whatever it was when
Hmm.
I don't want to talk about it. You're so right about it. What you said earlier about needing to have someone that would press a little bit more, just
Yeah.
a little bit more journalistic, you know?
I don't really get what
Just
the point was. It did feel like the whole documentary was like, oh, look how things were back then, and we can never do that now. Isn't it
it could
interesting
have been
how
a
what was able
tweet,
to run then? Exactly. Isn't it interesting what could run then? And look at all the TikToks about it now. Oh,
literally.
it almost was blaming us. It was blaming us back then and blaming us now. Like, oh, everyone's too sensitive now, and back then everyone was so crazy. And look what you all demanded from us. Look what we did, and now you're all acting brand new.
Exactly. And then she's talking about Cycle 25. So which one is it? She's so contradictory throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is your legacy ice cream? Is it not? Because you were talking about Cycle 25, the end of it, and you're talking about how it was so bad, but it was us. What
Hmm.
is the truth? It
Yeah.
just didn't feel like there was much. And I really do think it just could have been an email.
Yeah.
Nothing about that documentary was groundbreaking,
Yeah.
hitting, didn't take anything. It was good to hear from the contestants. I think that was the bit that was
Hmm.
good to platform them. But in terms of the judges, in terms of Tyra, in terms of Ken, it wasn't enough.
No.
Not at all.
Also, the irony of Tyra sitting up there taking not one shred of accountability. Meanwhile, she dragged Naomi Campbell onto her show to
Oh,
make her apologize and take accountability all those years ago. Let me say something first of all. Naomi Campbell, when her time comes, it will come. And anyone else who has associated with her, be ready because I don't know why her name is always brought up when it comes to some of the darkest things that have been happening recently. That woman is no good. She's
yeah.
not. She's not. But the way that Tyra is happy to be the victim and happy to have someone else sit down and face up to what they did to Tyra as an up and coming black model in the same industry, and then turn around and just do worse things to all the black female contestants that were on her show and not see any shred of responsibility in that. That's where the
Mhm.
cognitive dissonance really comes into it. How are you not seeing that these things are equal and even worse? It's
God.
giving Ben and Lucinda.
Wait, you know the reality check thing that you said at the start about what other shows you think they'd
Yeah.
open the curtain on. What one would you want to see?
I'm just assuming that that's the case, by the way. Maybe that's just the name that
Yeah.
they chose for the thing, but it would be cool if they did deep dives into other ones. I'd love to see The Hill because I know that that is very, very produced and nothing is as it seems on that show. I'd love to know more about like who they really are and how some of those scenes came to be. I loved The Hills. What other reality TV would I watch from the 2000s?
It doesn't even have to be from the 2000s.
Oh, something that I don't know, one that I don't know much about. Whereas I feel like Love Island and stuff, we've had enough of
You,
like knowing what happens behind the scenes.
yeah.
Big Brother as well. Like I don't think that there's really much to that. I don't know, maybe like what's that Gordon Ramsay one?
Kitchen Nightmare.
Yes, Kitchen Nightmare. I'd love to know how does that actually come about, what's actually happening, and like life after Kitchen Nightmare. Did it really? Yeah, I'd love to know what's actually
That
real
would
from
be a
that.
good one.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
What about you?
I
Yeah.
think I think X Factor would be a good one, but contestants have already come out and said, but I would want to know from the producers themselves. I want to see clips of the judges actually in the background actually doing the stuff, doing the crimes that they've committed.
X Factor would be a
Um,
really good one. And we do have all these people's stories, but they're all disparate and separate. Everyone's saying their own thing. Putting it in one straight through line so that we can see the patterns and we can see how it's actually structural and how that would be really, really interesting. And a lot of people on that show have things to answer for. Simon
so
Cowell,
many.
Louis Bloody Walsh,
Louis Walsh, fucking
aka
Gary
Cyprus.
Barlow,
Yeah. AKA
Cyrus.
Cyrus, AKA Cyrus from Scandal. He gives that character.
They are one in the same. Them
Right.
two are one in the same. Gary Barlow,
Gary Barlow, Cheryl
you
Cole.
Danny, Danny who outed that guy. Someone's
Oh,
knocking at your
yeah.
door. Yeah.
Maybe a he. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like what the
Yeah.
hell did you do that for? I don't understand what she was doing that for.
Literally, was the singing good or not?
And also,
And
there was so much shit in the judges' panel. Like,
mm,
some of them didn't like each other when the younger model came on. They didn't like the older one. There was just so much in
yeah,
that I'd need to uncover and understand.
yes. Do you know who I'd need to see front and center, and as in from the contestants' POV? Misha. Misha
Misha.
B. I need to see her. I'd need to see Jedward. I'd need to see Leona Lewis. I'd need to
Mm,
see One Direction. That one is actually just so like that would be very deep now, especially with Liam's death. All
mm,
of these people who have a story to tell come to the front and tell it.
yeah, I agree. I also, another show that comes to mind, which I'm kind of getting the behind the scenes a little bit,
Oh wait,
is
sorry, Cher Lloyd. Cher Lloyd. Sorry, I had to add Cher Lloyd. Yeah.
Shalloids.
Okay. So
Yes.
yeah.
How could I forget Shay Lloyd?
Right.
Hop up by the plate, turn
Turn
that
my
swag
swag on.
on.
I loved that scene where she's at the judges' houses and she's singing and her throat is fucked. And she's like, I don't. And she's like, oh, I used to, what was the song? I used to follow my
I
chick.
hear
I hope that she
Jerusalem.
like
Oh,
it.
it's that
Yeah. But she probably don't. You think you're cooler than me. And she's crying. And
one.
she's like, my throat,
Cheryl is
my voice.
crying.
And her eyes are just pleading. She's like, please, guys, keep me in. You always
Cheryl
follow
is
my tricks. I
cracking
don't
up.
know. That was so high drama. Oh,
Oh my God. That's so funny.
yeah. Sorry, you were saying about another reality TV show.
Yeah. After this, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole with Cher Lloyd because I need to go and watch. I
Yeah.
need to go and watch all of her old performances because the wacky clothes,
Hmm.
the attitude, the style. Oh my
She
God,
popped off after X
iconic.
Factor as well. She had her singles that did well. Like she actually
Yeah,
broke out of the UK. Like she did all right for herself. Ollie
she
Murs, we'd
did.
have to speak about Ollie Murs. Ollie Murs and that moment that he caused a stampede in Oxford Street. Do you remember that? Do
No,
you remember when Ollie Murs spread fake news about a bomb in Oxford Street and everyone started locking down in the stores that they were in Oxford Street?
no. What the hell? What?
There was one time there was disturbance in Oxford Circus, and there was loads of commotion and people were like scurrying, and then Ollie Murs tweeted bomb threat in Oxford Street. Basically, everyone run, and everyone did just that. People ran. People were in different stores, like in the changing room, like four people in one changing room, doors locked. Like everyone was locking up the place, thinking that there was. I know it wasn't a bomb. Sorry, I think it was like a gunman or something. Basically, there was a terrorist. They thought there was a terrorist threat, and Olimar spread this news, and then everyone went into complete frenzy and panic. And it was actually just because two people were fighting in the tube station. There was no such threat like that. Two people were fighting. Some people were just moving away from the commotion, and then the panic just spread, and people started making a story that it was a gunman.
What the hell?
This is my favorite Ollie Murs law because what the hell? It just makes it so funny that it was him.
What the what?
He said,
Is he okay?
I need to get the exact wording of the tweet because one of my friends was in Topshop at this time, and she said they were all in the changing rooms. Her heart was beating. She was texting people, being like, "Bye, if I don't speak to you again, bye."
What the fuck? Is Ollie Murs okay? Did we ever find out? What the hell did he do that for? I
He
swear he's from
tweeted.
Essex as well. He should know about people fighting.
No, he didn't know about that. He just knew there was commotion, and his mind, they just thought maybe he heard a loud bang and he thought it was gunshot, and he tweeted, "Fuck, everyone get out of Selfridges now, gunshots, I'm inside." He had heard no gunfire, he'd seen no evidence of a terrorist attack, but he just assumed, and then he spread that. And for months he maintained that there was a shooting, for months. And he thinks there was a cover up. It was all a cover up, and they're just pretending that didn't happen. Ollie,
Hang it up, mate.
come on, man.
But he actually has to maintain that because you look like a
Exactly.
idiot. I
People
thought.
got really hurt in that
Yeah.
stampede. There were like loads of injuries. I think like nine people were really injured, and a few people went to hospital.
What?
Ollie Murs is such a funny character to me, so it just is hilarious that it was him. He just got ahead of himself. But yeah, you're saying another one that you want a deep dive on, and I assumed it.
Yes, sorry. Yes, it was Dance Moms, but can I just quickly say Dermot O'Leary? I want to hear from him too.
Oh my God. Yeah, but we definitely need to hear from Dermot O'Leary in that documentary too.
Yes, but definitely Dance Moms because I know that there was so much shit behind the scenes. I know that there was like producers and the mums were crazy, Abby was crazy, all of that shit. But right now, there's a podcast with Christy and Kelly from Dance Mums where they talk about the behind the scenes. They recap the episodes and then they also have the producer notes. So you can see what the on-field producers were writing at the time, giving a play-by-play so that they make sure that when they go into like the editing or the story room, they can discuss what's actually happened so they can build the storylines from there.
Oh my
But what
God.
I don't like about what I think a documentary would be good or a reality check type theme would be good is that it's a bit more overall and not biased. Whereas they're telling the story, they're reading the producer notes, and then they're adding their 2 cents, and it's definitely from their lens.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that kind of bit where they can give excuses or sugarcoat how they come across. And like, it's clear that they are just doing it to remedy all of the shit that they did from their seasons before. That whole podcast just feels like a chance for them to make excuses, give us the background and give us
Redeem
the background
themselves.
as a yeah, redeem themselves and give them the background as an excuse of I did this, but you guys didn't know the X, Y, and Z. Um,
Uh,
but they also don't afford their other castmates that same luxury, and that's the bit that's missing for me. But yeah, those are the top two. The X Factor one would be. I don't think Simon would come in.
no way. No
No.
way, because he'd have to face up to the ways in which. And do you know what? Simon would probably go down the same angle about it's of the times, the music industry is cutthroat, it is
Yeah.
what it is. And when people talk about the times or that's just how society is, who is society? Who
Hmm.
creates what the times are? A lot of these shows don't just capture the zeitgeist, but actually create it. And I think that's what
Exactly.
people fail to accept, that level of responsibility. But yeah, to
Yeah.
be honest, America's Next Top Model, I was locked in at the time. I loved that show. So good. I even remember watching that one where they did the British and American crossover and they had both contestants from different places and
Oh
they had
my
that song,
God.
My Booty Tooch, be
Yeah.
making moves. Hey girl, hey, I'm Simone.
Oh
Ain't
my
no
God.
clone.
Oh my
Butter
God.
like no other. I'm the only fashion time traveler. Stop dropping tooch.
Oh,
Just
you
do it.
just unlocked something that was not that I didn't know about. I
My booty tooch. Be making moves.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, so will you be watching Cycle 25?
Nah, nah.
Hang
I
it up,
think,
Ty.
yeah, yeah. So just to say, like, as a viewer, yeah, I enjoyed the drama. Of course I did. I loved the drama. But I think I would have watched it without all of that trauma and shit too.
Exactly.
Because,
Exactly.
yeah, because does RuPaul's Drag Race do shit like that? I like coming and watching them do that. I'm sure there's problems around that show. I'm sure there are. But I like watching them do their outfits, do their walks, do their lip syncing, and then also have their little drama in between the contestants, which you're always going to get because people are always going to clash or they're going to get on. And sometimes the drama that you enjoy are the friendships, are that things are
Mhm.
nice and that look at that duo over there and look at that. That's why like bromances work so well on like Love Island or like trios work so well because we're just like you love having people to root for and you like being able to
Exactly.
watch their growth and journey. But yeah, so I'm not taking that. I'm not accepting that story, that excuse about of the time and what people wanted to watch. Don't put that
Hmm.
on me. Talk about some gullible bitches.
Right. What are you sticking on speaker then? What are you sticking on speaker? And don't say pancakes.
I'm sneaking in bites of my pancake in between whilst we're recording, and she's so jealous. That's why she's wrapping up the episode because she's
I've
hungry
got
as
ice
well.
cream in the freezer waiting for me to eat with a paratha. What are you putting on
Oh,
speaker?
get pistachio cream on that. Seriously, if you don't,
You
I'm gonna
know
be
I
really pissed off.
will. You
Okay,
know I
put pistachio
will.
cream on that paratha and send me a picture. What am I putting on speaker?
Stop looking at no, or no. Stop looking around your flat. Not the water bottle. We know.
I don't feel like I gave the water bottle enough love
True.
last episode, but
Oh, actually, I've got something, but it's actually, can you guys put something on speaker for me? Because I'm in a pickle. I want to get my hair done for holiday, and I've seen this thing on TikTok called Miracle Knots. Have you seen it on?
did you send a
Miracle
picture of it?
Knots.
I feel
I
like
might have done. And it just looks like a really easy way to like add boho pieces to your hair.
mm,
And I'm gonna do it myself, so I want it to be really, really easy. So I'm thinking of maybe doing that. If anyone knows if it's good or not, or if there's an alternative that you would recommend and put on speaker for me, I would be very appreciative. So that's my plea. Cop out.
yeah, this week I have no recommendations. I'm just going to reiterate that the Awala water bottle, guys, it's worth the hype. It really is. I didn't realize when I put it on speaker last week, I didn't realize that it's not just a spout bottle. There's also an inbuilt like straw that's attached to the lid. So the front part of the mouth is like a straw opening, and then the rest is like a normal spout. Really easy to clean, really easy to refill. The colorway Spark Joy, I just love it. I'm very happy with mine. It's currently
I,
my favorite thing, so I'm gonna give that an extra shout out this week.
I love that.
That's always your reply.
Okay,
I love that.
okay
Um,
then. I always love it though.
okay, cool. So let's end it there and get some food down us. And please do send me a picture of your paratha, pistachio, and ice cream so I can live vicariously. I do have M&S speckled cookies waiting for me as well. So, oh, do you know what? That should have
Oh,
been my speaker. M&S speckled cookies, guys, go get you some. Get you some of those. They're so good. They have Easter eggs, like little mini eggs in there, like speckled eggs, cornflakes, and white chocolate chips. They slap.
They are amazing.
They're a really good like Easter limited edition one. So go into M&S and pick yourself up a pack. Well, it's good to chat again, Chid. Guys, if you want to join in on the conversation, drop a comment in any of our socials on Stay on the Line Sis on Insta and TikTok. And if you have anything to share, any longer commentary, then please do email us at stayonthelinesis@gmail.com.
And comment below on YouTube if you're listening on YouTube. Make sure you comment
Yes.
below. Make sure you subscribe. Ring the bell.
Yes. Tell
Ring
us about
the
your, if you've
bell.
seen the documentary, tell us your take. Tell us about your most iconic or memorable moment from America's Next Top Model. Because we should have talked about that actually, because one of mine is when the girl walks off and she's like, she goes in and she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna leave. And the way she stomps away is my favorite thing ever. So yeah,
So good.
tell us your favorite memorable moment from the show. And yeah, catch you next week.
Okay.
Speak later, Chid.
Bye.
Bye.